Hi, this is Colin Hoba, and this is my video project for Phase 3 for my African American 275 class. So some of the things I want to talk about in this video that um, I really thought about and started to think about and became in the forefront of my consciousness after this class were the white privilege aspect, and a lot of things that encompass that, and then later on when we talked about black radio and black production, and we started looking at black characters in movies and the roles they played, and then I looked up the article on Franchesca Ramsey. And so those are the two big things that I want to touch on in this video. First, with the white privilege, being a white male as I am, you never really think about um, life from the other perspective, whether it be female or another race. And so having a class where we took surveys that sort of opened up my eyes to the way that other people view the world. The question that really stuck out to me earlier in the semester was, what does Barack Obama mean to you? And I just kind of flippantly saw that question. I was like, well, he's the president from my high school and college career. He created universal health care. I didn't really think too in depth about it, and then I stopped and reflected and thought about, what if I was a black man? What if I was a black man getting ready to graduate college, and I'm living in a world where there's so much divisiveness and there's so much controversy with black people in the government, black people and the police, and so having someone that was the leader of our nation that we voted on twice, it would give me a little bit of hope, and it would be an empowering thing, not just for me, but for the black community as a whole. And so looking at it from that viewpoint, Barack Obama really was a game changer when it came to American politics, American government, and then going off of that with some of the white privilege, talking about the divisiveness and talking about how you can look and you can find articles all the time of white guys being accused of sexual assault and they get one punishment, and then you have a black man with the same exact conviction of a sexual assault, and it's a way worse punishment. And just the imbalance, you look at the drug charges and who goes to jail versus who gets a slap on the wrist, and there is a lot of white privilege in that. And so just having my eyes open to that, it really kind of showed me how the other people around me are living their life and what their viewpoints of the world are like. The other thing I touched on was the article that I read about Franchesca Ramsey becoming a host on the Comedy Central, and before that we kind of primed it and talked about the radios and black production. And I had talked about in my discussion boards that it seemed like black radio and black productions were more based around their communities and more based on uplifting the people around them, more so than their white counterpart radio stations. And so I took that as something that we as white people should do. We should be more involved in our community. But then I looked at the Franchesca Ramsey thing, and I thought, why is this big news? It's because she's a black woman getting a solo anchor job on a neutral network. And I don't think, to my knowledge, that there is a black woman that's a solo anchor. You have Michael Smith and Jemele Hill on the 6 o'clock on ESPN, which is big, but neither of them are solo. Whereas at midnight, which is their biggest hour on ESPN, you have Scott Van Pelt, who is a white male, getting that solo time by himself. You have other correspondents and you have other co-hosts who are black females, but they just aren't getting the roles like white men and white females are getting. And so Comedy Central used to be based around Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart with The Colbert Report and The Daily Show, that were the primetime news networks for that channel. And then Colbert went to a different station and he was replaced by a black man, and Jon Stewart retired and he was replaced by a black man, and so Comedy Central started making their way towards opening up their opportunities to more people. And so I think that this is just the next step in their inclusion of everybody and allowing anybody to get a role. Just to go back to white privilege real quick again, being from a football background, there's this thing called the Rooney Rule, which is basically that if there's a head coaching vacancy in the NFL, that you have to interview a black man, and that alone was sort of something that bucked the system towards white privilege, and it has allowed for men like Tony Dungy, Herm Edwards, Lovie Smith, a number of African American coaches to coach in the NFL. And so that was just another step in the right direction, I think, in society, because the NFL has such a major role in the U.S. society. There's a ton more stuff that I learned throughout the course of this semester. Those are just a few of the things that I took away. Thank you.